Hi everyone, Tiago here from Tea Encounter, and recently I wrote a newsletter about the energetics of Yiwu tea and tea overall. And what I mean by that is that tea tends to be considered to be a cold beverage and also a bitter one. And in terms of Sheng Puer, people tend to say traditionally, these kind of traditions are actually pretty recent, to be honest. But people tend to say that you should wait a few years and don't drink the tea, not to drink the tea straight away. Allow it to age it a bit, to mellow out, to remove that bitterness, that cold energy from the tea, and only then to drink this tea. Of course, this is one school of thought. Actually, if you go to Yunnan, most people wouldn't really agree with this. But if you go to Hong Kong, probably people would agree with this. But what is interesting to me is that tea is considered to be bitter and cold, and I think there's an association between these two. Okay, so this bitterness translates into cold energy in the tea. But the thing is, and people prefer to age teas in some regions, again, mostly in South China. They would prefer to age teas a bit to remove this kind of bitterness and to transform it into a bit warmer feeling from the tea. The thing is, there's also, in my mind, my understanding of what is being said by this is that I feel like the bitterness is being associated with the cold feeling of the tea, and that does make some sense. There's a lot of in terms of Chinese medicine, there's a lot of herbs that are considered to be bitter and cold. Okay, this is really common, so it makes some sense. But what I found interesting in this approach is that once the tea becomes sweet or sweeter, it is not considered as cold as before. Okay. And considering that Yiwu teas are very sweet from the get-go, I would argue, or I'm arguing, that they're not as cold as other teas in Yunnan. Okay, so what I think there is that there is a spectrum of coldness. Okay, you'll have very cold teas like Laomana Kucha. They'll be on the cold side of teas, and then on the opposite side of this spectrum, you'll have Yiwu teas. They're very sweet. They're really, people want to age teas because they think that, it will be more comfortable on the stomach if the tea has a warmer energy. But Yiwu teas tend to be really mild on the stomach. You can drink them straight after pressing, and they tend to be really fine teas, straight away. Again, because they don't have this bitterness that can cause a bit of discomfort from teas. So since we associate sweetness to a warmer feeling, I would argue that Yiwu teas are not really cold energetically. They have a cooling energy, like other teas, but I wouldn't go so far as to say that they are cold teas. Okay, and this is just a kind of like curiosity of mine. I sometimes think about these things, but this basically means that you don't really need to age them in order to drink them and in order to enjoy them. You actually can just have them straight away. And I also wanted to talk a bit about the cha chi, so the energy or the feeling that you get from tea. And I want to talk specifically, about Yiwu teas. And in order to do this, I did some research about some books written in the past about what kind of energy is the sweet flavor. What does it give to us? And I found the book, the Huangdi Neijing. It's a medicine book written over 2,000 years ago, and it's all basically sweet flavor is very relaxing. If you have a lot of tensions, give some sweet energy to a patient. A lot of stress, again, sweet flavor. So this flavor itself, this energy, the sweet energy flavor, sweet flavor energy, is a very relaxing and calming and great for stress and all of that. These are the feelings that you get from, and these are the feelings that I experience from Yiwu teas. I find that Yiwu teas are very relaxing. they have some kind of happy chi, what I call happy chi. They're like cheerful teas. And I think you can explain that by considering these initial sources that described the energy of the sweet energy. Well, they also described other energies. I just focused on the sweet effects because that's what Yiwu teas are most famous for. And yeah, just to finish this off, I want to say that this is my personal opinion, okay? So I did try to research some sources, both in Chinese and English. I couldn't find a lot of sources that describe specifically how Yiwu teas should be understood in terms of energy. But this is, so again, this is really my opinion. Also want to say that when it comes to drinking tea, I feel like there's always there's a conversation that is being had, by the tea drinker and the tea leaves. Okay, so although I do think that my description overall for Yiwu teas makes a lot of sense, and I do think that most people will experience the sensations that I described, I also feel like it will depend on the person, of course. You know, for some people, Laumana kuchas are absolutely the best teas for them. Okay, so it's really it's what I was saying. It's a conversation between two elements. It's a conversation between the person and the tea leaves. And then for some people, or for most people, I do think that the sweeter flavor will be the most approachable or the easier to enjoy. But for others, obviously, that's not the case. Some people absolutely love some bitter teas. And yeah, that's absolutely fine. So okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to record something soon. I want to try to have them more often. And thank you for listening to my video. See you next time.